Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant with a stamp highlight shaker tag using the new Festive Mice stamps and dies. And I chose to use some of the Pizzazz Pieces dies here. This is also a new product from Mama Elephant for October 2015 to create a shaker tag ornament instead of a card here today. It's one of my favorite things to do. You can use these as tags on gift packages, but then the recipient can also use them as a Christmas ornament after they have opened the gift. I used the large circle and then the banner there to create the front of my tag, the frame for the shaker window, and then I cut a solid banner for the backing of the shaker. I'm also going to need a solid banner piece cut from acetate or something clear for the front. I am cutting mine from a transparency, and I'm also going to use that inside die cut piece, that circle, to add the background for my shaker. I stamped this adorable Santa mice image from the Festive Mice Mama Elephant stamp set on smooth white cardstock using Memento Tuxedo black ink. And then I am coloring in this image with some Copic markers. I'm using warm grays. The colors are listed across the bottom of the screen there, in case you're wondering exactly what colors I use to color in the image. I tend to like the warm grays for coloring in critters. I feel like they have a little bit more of a warmer feel or look to them, I guess I want to say, not feel, look, rather than the cool grays or tonal grays or something like that. I stuck to some pretty light colors here, adding shading where the head meets the body and underneath the hat and the songbook that this mouse is holding. Added a little R20 for the cheeks and blended that out. Going to go in with my darkest color and add just a tiny bit more, darken up a couple of those areas a little bit that blended out too much. I'm adding a little bit of dot detail with my darkest, the W Warm Gray 4, and then going back with Warm Gray 2 and 1 to blend out anything that maybe got too dark. For the hat portion itself, I'm using R24, 39, and 46. Pretty simple coloring, not a ton of shading needs to be done for such a small area. For the trim on the hat and the little pom-pom ball, I am going to leave those uncolored and instead take the Marvy snow pin and add some texture to those elements on this image here in a little bit. For the songbook, I used G29 and G46 and then taped the Festive Mice die over that and die cut it. And he's going to sit there right in the center of that frame on the shaker. For the background now, I want to add some color because this tag is going to be mostly white, so I want a nice pop of color back behind the mouse. I'm going to use Blueprint Sketch Distress ink, which has kind of been my ink color of choice here for holiday backgrounds on my cards and tags. I love the bright blue. Anything you put in front of it really pops. And so I've really been enjoying using it. I am using the mini ink blending tool to apply the color to the circle. It's going to be darker on one side and gradually get lighter on the other. The whole circle is going to have some color though. So I'm going to make sure that this side I am not going to ink up my ink blending tool, but instead leave it and just kind of the rest of the ink that's left over from the other side. That's how I'm going to make that just a tiny bit lighter so that the sky gradually goes from light to dark. Make sure I get that blended really well. I think it needs just a little bit more right along where it goes from dark to light. And then I'm going to take the little music notes stamp from the Festive Mice stamp set, and I'm going to stamp those on that background. I'm going to lay my mouse where he's going to go so I can see exactly where I want to place those music notes. I'm using some white pigment ink to stamp these. I'm going to stamp it just a few times kind of make sure. I don't want them to be covered up too much, so I'm going to lay that mouse down again so I can make sure that you'll be able to see those music notes. I'm going to stamp those 4 times. And then I'm going to want a snowy border. So I'm going to die cut another circle from white cardstock and use a Borderlines Trio die to create a landscape along the bottom of that circle for the mouse to stand on. Can pop that out. It's going to go right along there. And then I'm taking that snow marker I was talking about earlier and going to dab that along the trim of the hat and the pom-pom, and then take my heat tool and heat that up until it pops or puffs up. And I thought I was videoing it and I forgot, so I apologize about that because it's kind of a fun technique to watch that. I'm going to glue my circle to the background tag and then adhere the frame part of the tag to the acetate, and the snowy landscape and mouse are going to sit on top of the shaker. Instead of being inside the shaker, they're going to sit on top. And this is because I don't want any of the shaker material to shake over the top of the mouse. I want him to appear to be standing in front of it, if that makes sense. Especially with the texture on his hat and things, I just really didn't want any of the shaker material covering him up. So you can either put those images inside your shaker or outside, or put some inside and some out. There's lots and lots of different ways to do it. That's just how I did it for this tag here. I'm ready to actually create the well that the shaker material is going to be in. I'm using foam adhesive, doubling it up so that it butts up right next to each other, and you can create a great well for all of your shaker material. And I'm gonna create all 4 sides here. And then I am gonna fill my shaker with some pretty pink posh silver circle confetti, and then some sparkling clear 4mm sequins. Just a few of each of them. There's what that's going to look like. Here's the confetti pieces. And then I'll take the sequin pieces or sequins as well. Just a few of those and sprinkle them in. Peel off the backing paper on all of the foam adhesive. And then I take the shaker backing piece, which is the back that has that distress inked and stamped background, to the front, line it up perfectly, and press that in place. So there's that little cute shaker scene. Now I am going to take the little mini messages stamp set, which was a free gift with purchase on the Mama Elephant website, and die cut some of the little tags and stamp them with messages from this stamp set using Versamark ink, and heat embossing the white embossing powder on these die cut black tags. I think they stand out really nicely. Thread those through the ribbon, tie that or twine, tie it into a knot, and there is my shaker tag ornament. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the Festive Mice stamps and dies from Mama Elephant. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.